Today's video, I'm going to say a fact about all 52 Dungeon Quest bosses. Let's do this. Number 1, the Sand Giant. The Sand Giant is the only boss in the game with an attack added later after its release, and it's called Fire Lines. Number 2, Ice Elemental. The Ice Elemental Summoning Ice Minions move summons 3 Ice Minions, which have an exact amount of 12.5 HP of the Ice Elemental boss itself. Number 3, Captain Blackbeard. Captain Blackbeard is the first boss to have 1 million or more health, no matter the difficulty or the players in it. Number 4, the Spider Queen. The Spider Queen has the longest warning time for an attack, being a whole 3 seconds before doing an attack, which is called String Blast. Number 5, the Demonic Pirate Captain. The Demonic Pirate Captain is the first boss in the game with an ability to teleport a player with an attack, being called the Demonic Teleport. Number 6, the Beastmaster. The Beastmaster is the first boss to have armor that you can obtain from a dungeon, which is the weapon called the Goblin Cleaver, and the armor being the Beastly Guardian set. Number 7, the Archmage. The Archmage is the first boss to have a passive attack. In the game, the passive attack is known as Explosive Books, which will randomly spawn books around a room, causing a small explosive radius. Number 8, the King. The King is the first boss in the game to have an ability that damages the entire map unless you're in the battle room when starting the boss battle. Number 9, the Demonic Overgrowth. The Demonic Overgrowth is the first boss in the game that can spawn minions that could get faster over time. Number 10, the Kuvamar. The Kuvamar is the first boss to get faster the longer you take to fight the boss. Number 11, the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord is the biggest boss in the entire game, which also only has a second phase but second hard phase in the game. Number 12, Sanada Yukimura. Sanada Yukimura is the first boss in Dungeon Quest to have a passive with spawning enemies. These enemies also drop a 50 experience, which is literally nothing for anyone level 90 or higher. Number 13, the Ancient Golem Guardian. The Ancient Golem Guardian is the only boss in Samurai Palace to not have a passive ability. Number 14, Miyamoto Masashi. Miyamoto Masashi is the first boss in the game to have 2 passive abilities, one being lava on the floor, like in the King's boss battle, and the second one is spawning minions, like the first boss in Samurai Palace. Number 15, the Mage Overlord is the first boss to have over 1 billion HP, no matter of how many players or the difficulty. Number 16, the Guardian Overlord is the first boss in the game that has 2 attacks that, if aren't dodged, will hit every single player in the lobby. Number 17, the Warrior Overlord. The Warrior Overlord is the only boss that holds both of the legendary weapons, which is the Overlord's Rage Blade and the Overlord's Mage Blade. Number 18, the Kraken. The Kraken is the largest distance to reach any first mini-boss in the game ever. Number 19, the Corrupt Overlord. The Corrupt Overlord secretly uses the Kraken Slayer as a weapon, and the weapon has a little purple recolor to it if you take a closer look. Number 20, the Sea Serpent. The Sea Serpent's passive ability, Blue Lava, damages players not by certain damages but by a percentage of your HP. So no matter how low your HP it is, the passive attack will eliminate you in the same number of hits. Number 21, the Cyclops Siege Bot. The Cyclops Siege Boss is the first boss to have practically 100 billion HP, having 99.9 billion HP, which is pretty insane, which goes on the insane difficulty, and I don't know why they didn't just make it 100 billion. I mean, just why? Number 22, the Evil Scientist. The Evil Scientist uses a slightly modified Inventor's Warrior set found in Boss Raid as its gear. Number 23, the Cannon Blaster 2000. The Cannon Blaster has the same health points as the mini-boss at 99.9 billion on Insane difficulty, but on Nightmare difficulty it has more health than the mini-bosses at 215 billion for some reason. Number 24, the Fusion Goliath. The Fusion Goliath is the only boss that can appear if you do a tier 1 boss raid. Number 25. The Robot Gladiator. The Robot Gladiator has an ability to bring a random player to the boss. There's no way to stop it. Luckily, the bringing move does no damage to balance it out. Number 26. The Gilded Dragon. The Gilded Dragon can spawn stone minions, which if they manage to reach a player, they will explode and cause an impact, causing damage nearby. 28. Earth Golem. The earliest Dungeon Quest tier that this boss can appear, from tier 12 all the way to tier 30. Number 29. The Ancient Stone Guardian. The Ancient Stone Guardian uses an enlarged and recolored version of the Shark Tooth blade, found in Ghastly Harbor as a weapon. You should really take a closer look to see the weapon. Number 30. The Destroyer. Every single attack that the Destroyer boss does in a different color within yellow, orange, and red. Pretty color coded, don't you think? 31. The Tesla boss has a total of 4 unique attacks, which most bosses only have 2 or 3. Attacks being the Electro Beam, the Electro Orb, the Tesla Cannons, and the Electro Circles. Number 32. Lord Vanosh. Lord Vanosh is the first boss of Dungeon Quest who can stun you, which basically means trapping you in a circle for a few seconds, but you need to be careful when battling it. Number 33. Ancient Lava Mage. The Ancient Lava Mage was the first boss with an attack that followed the player no matter where they go. Number 34. The Density of the Volcano. Density of the Volcano was the first boss in the game to do an attack that pretty much one-shot, doing 200 million damage, which is impossible to tank in volcanic gear or under. Number 35. The Lava King. The Lava King was the first boss to have a unique attack where 2 players need to be near each other for an explosion to not happen. That shows that these dungeons require some teamwork. Number 36. The Core Temple Generator. This Temple Core Generator is the first boss to reach 100 trillion health regardless of difficulty in players, which can be quite a shock. Number 37. The Ancient Temple Protector. The Ancient Temple Protector attacks, called the Protector Slam, can do up to 800 million damage or 1.2 billion damage depending on difficulty if the player is hit, which is an instant one-shot for anyone using aquatic items below. Number 38. The Sea King. The Sea King is the only boss in Aquatic Temple Dungeon to have 2 passive abilities in the game, which is Tribal Flood and Water Sniper. Number 39. Crystal Golem. The Crystal Golem has 4 unique attacks, not including his own passive ability, and the attacking being Falling Crystal, Electric Sweepers, Dome Blast, and Golem Slam. 40. Ancient Enchanted Tree. The Ancient Enchanted Tree has the longest passive ability to take place, being the Spirit Summoning, which happens every 18 seconds to even do. Number 41. Enchanted Forest Dragon. The Enchanted Forest Dragon is the first boss to reach 42 quadrillion health, which regardless of how many players were in that dungeon, which is surprising how fast these HPs are racking up. Number 42. The Mid-Guardian Champion is the mini-boss where you have to fight the least mobs, only being 5 mobs in a single group to reach. Number 43. Bob the Frost Giant. Bob the Frost Giant uses the same weapon where you can drop in Northern Lands Nightmare called the Frost Giant Great Axe, except it's visually larger. Number 44. Odin. Odin boss is the only boss in Northern Lands that doesn't have a passive ability at all. Even the bonus version of Odin does have a passive ability. Number 45. Honor of Reincarnation. The Honor of Reincarnation boss, more known as Rodin, is the only boss that you can absolutely do after a dungeon. You do not have to do the boss after beating Northern Lands. This is completely optional and can only be done in a Nightmare difficulty. Number 46. The Arbitrist boss has a total of 5 attacks, and they would have all the word Lumen Flame in them. Literally, they are called Lumen Flame Blast, Lumen Flame Shockwave, Lumen Flame Orb, Lumen Flame Circles, Lumen Flame Beam, and that's all of them. That's a lot of Lumen Flame attacks. Number 47. General Crag. General Crag is known to be the most annoying boss in the game due to its crazy RNG of attacks, nuking, and pure just insanity. Most players absolutely hate this boss. Number 48. The Dragon Lord. The Dragon Lord boss has the most attacks in the game, being 9, 1 being passive, which is an absolute record for any boss so far. Number 49, Tatsu, the Lord of the Tides. Tatsu is the only first boss in the game to give a cosmetic in the form of the key, giving you the Tatsu being cosmetic. The good thing being if someone gets the key, everyone alive in the lobby gets the cosmetic. Number 50, Sangor the Bloodthirsty. Sangor the Bloodthirsty is the first boss to have over 100 quadrillion points regardless of the player count or difficulty. That is insanity. Number 51, Commander Livinaro. Commander Livinaro is the only boss that can be affected by one of your own attacks, which means he can be eliminated by his own attacks, which gives you the cosmetic title, Return to Sender. And lastly, 52, Sarugami. Sarugami is the only boss to get a cutscene and introduction, and the Fire Imp Thrower, meaning he spawns on a little mountain, have 10 times the HP of the boss. This to prevent for those mobs from being eliminated. Woo! Wow, that was crazy. The script ended up being a lot longer than I expected. If you guys want to see me do the limited time bosses, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Have a wonderful day, guys. Waddle out, my friends.